A group 23 Russian diplomats suspected of spying for Vladimir Putin have been flown back to Moscow following the poisoning of Sergei Skripal. Buses carrying the group of undeclared intelligence officers left the Russian embassy this morning heading for Stansted Airport in Essex. They then boarded a plane bearing Russian white, blue and red flag and were flown off back to Moscow. Theresa May had given the diplomats a week to leave Britain in reaction to the nerve agent attack in Salisbury 2 weeks ago. The move has prompted Russia to retaliate with its own expulsion of 23 British diplomats. The British diplomats are expected to leave Moscow in the coming days. This morning, people with suitcases could be seen heading towards a white coach parked inside the gated Kensington Palace Gardens complex in London close to the Russian embassy. Hugging each other, holding children, pet carriers, suitcases and bags. At just after 10 a.m. a number of individuals left in a procession of vehicles including 3 cars, 5 people carriers and 2 small-sized coaches. One woman could be seen filming the media which had gathered outside from front seat of a vehicle, as children could be seen excitedly looking out of the window of a coach as it pulled onto the main road. Tensions between the two countries have ratcheted higher since the March 4 poisoning of ex-Russian spy Mr Skripal and his daughter Yulia in the British city of Salisbury. They remain in a critical condition. Britain's National Security Council is meeting today to consider possible further measures. Ministers are also looking at new legislation to make it hard for those who wish to do damage to our country. British Prime Minister Theresa May and other European Union leaders are due to discuss the poisoning at a summit on Thursday. The EU on Monday condemned the poisoning and called on Russia to address urgently British questions over the Novichok nerve agent program. Russia denies involvement, but Western powers see it as a sign of increasingly aggressive Russian meddling abroad. Speaking ahead of talks with his EU counterparts in Brussels, the Foreign Secretary said, "This is a classic Russian strategy of trying to conceal the needle of truth in a haystack of lies and obfuscation." They're not fooling anybody anymore. There is scarcely a country around the table here in Brussels that has not been affected in recent years by some kind of malign or disruptive Russian behavior. British sources last night insisted they remain pleased with the degree of Western solidarity. But they suggested it was too early to push for fresh EU sanctions against Moscow, with some countries wanting to see the results of tests by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons (OPCW) before they will consider acting. Inspectors for the OPCW arrived in the UK yesterday to discuss the transport of samples of the Novichok nerve agent used in the attack to independent laboratories outside the UK. Ministers fear the tests could take weeks or even months to agree. The army and police are continuing to search for clues around Salisbury into what happened. Investigators have said it may take months to complete the widening inquiry. The focus is on the movement of the Skripals in the hours before they were found unconscious.